So it makes sense that you kind of.
Oh, hey, Josh.
Yeah.
But also too, but like I said, they didn't hit us over the head with gender so much so that they kind of did the gender swapping of, you know, having, I guess, for lack of a better term, although I don't see it this way, sidekick being wrong.
He was a sidekick.
I don't see it that way.
You might not see. You might not see sidekick. But he was a sidekick.
But you know, having that sort of gender swap there. And we actually did a funny episode where we even swapped bodies as well.
Yeah.
And so we gender swapped on top of gender swapping.
Yeah.
But again, like we played with that. We played with the power dynamics and all of that and interpersonal stuff like that. It was a lot of fun.
Speaking of saying Ron's a sidekick, or you think they're even, how do you see Kim and Ron's relationship? Because I've read different articles and things, and people try to group Kim and Ron in like a different fictional dynamic. Like I read one that was really interesting. It said that it's almost a Batman and Joker, and only because Ron, who is a kind of comedic relief and kind of does slapstick, he kind of brings a very subtle chaos, and it kind of goes into Kim's almost organized kind of way.
I thought you were going to say Batman and Robin. Batman and Joker.
No,
I think that's interesting.
Oh, no, you're Batman.
So,
Kim's Batman.
Right.
But I would have said Ron would have been Robin.
And so I thought that was interesting. But how do you guys
I think Joker had a more maniacal, also analytical type of mind.
It's definitely an extreme interpretation, but I thought it was interesting trying to pair your relationship to other duos.
Sure.
So I just wondered how you guys saw
There's a lot of really
Ron's
great,
relationship.
there's like a lot of great fan fiction out there as well, right? Like the alternative Shigo, Kim Possible love thing.
Oh yeah, there's some. Curious as to the websites you're going to, but
yeah, well,
yes, there are definitely some.
They're sent to me.
Some
Okay?
fanfic stuff. Oh yeah, there's. I was typing in something else and it just popped up. Yeah. No, but I mean, people always take it and run with it. But no, I think their dynamic was really interesting because they were always there supporting each other, and you know. The fact that she was a woman or a girl and he was a man or a boy, it just didn't matter. They had each other's back no matter what. So I think that was more important than anything else. But I can see how, especially for young girls watching the show, to be able to turn on and see a show where it is a young woman who is taking control of everything around her.
That role is personal to them. Do you have that connection with the characters? Do you feel almost territorial in a sense? Because I know some actors, I've talked to some people that are like, oh yeah, that's my character. Do you have that? Or are you like, no, go far and like other people do these characters and bring it back to life? Because I was excited that Kim Possible even was a movie, that they brought it back for a new generation. So, but what do you think about that? I mean,
yeah, I mean, I have a very, 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 very small part.
You do have like a
cameo. You'll miss me so much so that I don't think most people know I'm in it. So, but I have a small little thing, you know, I definitely think that the guys that directed it were big fans, and they were trying to bring the world to life. And in a lot of ways, I think they succeeded. Certainly with the production design, I think you could literally hold up a picture to our, you know, the sets and some of the costumes, and it's very much a very vivid, beautiful interpretation of, you know, it's a very different medium. Taking something from animation to live action, it may work, it may not, it may be for you, it may not. It's just, and it's also a very different time. You know, like when we came out, it's just a different time. I mean, they changed the communicators, now it's a hologram. So they did a lot of different tweaks and updates.
Right, that's really interesting. If the animated show was airing now in 2019, like what would you think the major themes and different things would be different from when it was
you mean if they rebooted as an animated show?
Yeah.
With us as the voices?
What do you think would be the big differences in tone and theme and gadgets?
Oh, it should be the same, no? Right? Don't you think?
You think it would be the same?
I think they have to hit on some new themes and some new tones going on. But I think overall, for the time, it was a very progressive show.
No, definitely.
So I think it would try to lead the way for that as well. And going back to the live action film, I'm glad they cast Sean to play Ron.
I love Sean.
I'm sure he was wonderful. I never saw it. Sorry, I left Kim Possible where I left Kim Possible, and I wanted it to kind of always be Kim Possible like that for me. So
fair enough.
When I close my eyes guys and I hear Kim Possible, I hear her. So that's, so I never saw it. I'm sure they were wonderful. I'm sure the kids were absolutely wonderful and they were the nicest kids in the world, but I never actually saw it.
So, do you guys have a particular favorite episode?
I actually like the one you were talking about where we get to kind of switch
bodies. Yeah, that's a fun one.
That was a fun episode.
That usually is mine, but I do like A Stitch in Time because Dakota Fanning played little baby KP, and we had some really fun cameos. We always had the best cameos.
Yeah, we really did.
On our show, and that's how I knew that Kim Possible was like a popular and successful show at that point. When like we had like Kelly Ripa and we had like Ving Rhames and like just all these huge names were like just coming into the studio and laying down voices for us, and I was like, this is really cool.
It was totally cool. When Ron and Kim finally kiss.
Oh yeah, you love that.
I love that one because it gives hope to everybody who, like, I sat at home at prom night because I tried to go bowling, but the guys I went with didn't have shoes, so we couldn't actually go. It's a whole story. But so like I was that guy who was sitting at home at prom night. So to see the guy get the girl that he's always loved, I'm always a big fan of that. So that was one of my favorite episodes ever.
And you did that in real life.
I did what in real life?
Get the girl you always loved.
Oh yeah, I did. Well, thank God she married me.
IRL.
Thank God for that. But yeah, that was many years later. She wouldn't have married me in high school.
What's up, Sue? We love you.
Yeah, we love you, Sue. But yeah.
So the Disney streaming service Disney Plus is coming out, and the entire series of Kim Possible is going to be on there. So a whole new generation is going to see the show. What are your thoughts on that and kind of that adding to already the legacy of an amazing animated series? That new people are going to see it and experience it.
I feel like they have. I mean, I feel like people have, all the people that are here representing in our fandom that's grown and grown and grown. I think you guys have all been showing your younger cousins, or you're like, hey, like, have you seen this yet? This is something that I liked. It's still such a beautifully drawn cartoon. It still feels fresh. It still feels new. So I feel like it's going to do really well on Disney Plus.
Can I ask curiously, just wondering, this is just for me, it's like they're not here.
Yeah.
Why did you go with younger cousins?
Younger cousins.
Well, like, so most people are like, and you're showing your kids, you went with younger cousins. It's such a specific thing. Like, you're showing your, I don't know, again, we'll talk about it later. I was just curious.
We'll talk offline.
It's just such a, it seems like just such a strangely specific
Mom,
thing.
I don't get much sleep. I don't even know where I am right now. Am I in Vegas?
It's just so funny. It's just so funny. You're gonna show your neighbor's kids. Like, what?
Yeah.
It's a very specific thing to say. No, I think it's great. Again, I watch MASH every day because I love TV and I'm a TV-aholic, and MASH, which started in 1971, is still amazing because the writing is still there. So if you've got great writing, you can put on All in the Family, you can put on MASH, you can put on Family Ties, you can put on Cheers, The Office.
Right.
You can put on Kim Possible, you can put on Batman Beyond, you put on these shows that they endure and they last because we love acting in them. The acting's important, obviously, very integral part, but the writing is really what sustains something. And the writing in Kim Possible was great. So all the writers that wrote the show just really knocked it out of the park, and that's why generation after generation of young cousins will be able to discover the show, which will always be fun.
Now, I believe we might have time for a couple of questions.
Cool.
If possible.
No Feeny calls, guys. We already talked about this.
She won't do the Feeny call.
I will not do it. I can try.
There's right in front, right behind the camera. Right?
There you go.
Gryffindor?
Yeah. There a mic for?
Got it.
Okay.
Batman Beyond question.
Okay. So the question was, when I was doing Return of the Joker, was I worried it would traumatize the younger fans because it traumatized you a little bit? Yes, and I'm glad it didn't. That was a traumatic episode. I mean, that's the scene with young Robin and Joker. It traumatized me. So, yeah, anytime they go dark, I'm a big fan of that.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's jumping.
Hi, jumping will win.
Yes.
Hi.
Oh, I think he's coming with a mic.
Oh, good.
wait,
We got a
wait,
microphone.
wait,
This is great.
Flow me the mic.
There we go. All right.
Awesome.
All right, first of all, two things I'd like to give you. First, a comment from all of us fans when I say this. We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
Thank you.
Woo!
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and second, how would a scene go between you guys, like as Kim Possible and Batman Beyond? If
How
they
would
got
a
to work
scene
together.
Oh, if they had to work together.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she did say that Kim kind of had that stealth. Well, I mean, I did channel you and your Batman-ness every time they asked me to be in stealth mode.
Did they? Oh, sweet.
That was the hardest thing, was when
I
they
think
asked me to
Terry,
stealth.
Terry's probably not a fan of working with anybody, so.
He works alone.
I work alone. Yeah. I think it would go well though. I think they're both in high school. They both fight crime. Why not?
Yeah.
But then Ron would seriously be like,
Seriously, she's dating Batman now, really? Like, we went on 3 dates and now this guy shows up? Like, come on.
like, yeah, that would be.
Yeah, who do you think she would go for if it was between your characters? Like,
Well, she loved Ron, but
yeah,
Terry.
But, you know.
I'd date Terry. Come on. It's Terry. Come on. Yeah, of course.
Well, since this turned into a Batman Beyond Q&A, I just wanted to ask, do you prefer one character over the other? Do you prefer Ron over Terry, or do they both give their own?
They're both. It's the two sides of the coin. You know, it's two guys with tremendous hearts who really want to go out and do the best they can. So, you know, one of them is the Disney wacky version, and one of them is the version that got me dates. So. It's pretty cool to be able to walk up to a woman and say, I'm Batman, and not be lying.
Right?
So, hey, got my wife. Worked like a charm. So it was great.